Hey guys, Ty Streetman here. I thought that today I would bring you one last teaser from my upcoming book, Aquatic Habitats, Aquariums Inspired by Nature. This is a simple display with fishes and plants that anyone can have a go at keeping. It's also a small tank, meaning it would fit somewhere in most people's homes. I wanted to create a display to showcase a favourite fish of mine, the Green Neon Rasboras Microdevario kubotai. These lovely fish have now been in the hobby for some time and have become very popular with aquascapers. These fish reach about 2 centimeters, they're quite easy to look after, they're very peaceful, they can be intimidated by larger, more boisterous fishes, and they will jump if spooked, so cover glasses are a requirement for them. However, I wanted to create a display which would suggest a more natural home for these fish, using plants which anyone can find and grow. I settled on Cryptocoryne crispatula, which is a plant found across the same range as the Rasboras. And although my display is based on habitats in Thailand, both the Rasboras and the Cryptocoryne have been recorded in neighbouring Myanmar. These images were taken in Myanmar by my friend Russell Brian Tate, who is a South African ecologist, and they show Cryptocoryne crispatula in the wild, along with Microdevario kubotai with a danio of some kind in there, and the sort of creeks and streams where he was encountering these species. The name of the game for this display was Simplicity. Although I used some high-end equipment for it, most of the components are straightforward, and you could replicate this on a much smaller budget. A single piece of branchy wood, some fine brown plant substrate, a bit of sand, and a handful of gravel, and a cup of blackwater extract are all I've used. Although the tank is only 60 cm, the kubotai are gregarious and should be kept in a good sized group. As they are the only fish in this tank, and I'm using a very large external filter, I've been able to add a nice shoal, which also makes them more confident and brings out their colours. So let's look at how I created this display. I've used a 60p aquarium measuring 60 by 36 by 36 cm and holding 60 litres of water, which is about 16 US gallons. I fitted it with a light screen by The Light Ground and used one of their green to yellow gradient foils to suggest the greenish colours typical of many clear water tropical streams and rivers. I've also fitted a light suitable for growing most low to medium level aquatic plants. I've used the Aquario acrylic pipework with built-in CO2 diffuser, although our chosen plants will grow just fine, though more slowly, without CO2. I'm using a very large filter for this tank, a Wazi Biomaster Thermo 350 external filter with built-in heater rated for tanks up to 350 litres, so it's sort of overkill, but I'd rather do that than underfilter. I've placed a single piece of manzanita wood donated by my local aquascaping store and fantastic supporter, Aquarium Gardens. The wood is added to create a triangular composition, which is pleasing to the eye, but still looks very natural. I've used ADA Malaya soil, which was also donated by Aquarium Gardens. This soil is no longer produced by ADA, but you could use the Wazi brown plant soil or the JBL Monado soil with a nutrient base underneath to achieve the same natural substrate effect. The plants were kindly sponsored by Tropica Aquarium Plants for the Aquarium Book project. Cryptocoryne crispatula will happily grow in just sand, as long as you also provide a liquid fertilizer, so you could skip the plant soil altogether. Just remember, the plants will grow much more slowly. The soil is placed around the back right corner of the tank to provide nutrients for the Cryptocoryne, which are primarily root feeders. I planted the crypts using tweezers, taking care not to crush their rhizomes. A dense planting was built up to ensure plenty of cover for the fishes and to have the plants waving in the current, which helps bring the display to life. Cryptocoryne crispatula is one of my favourite plants as it will adapt to a variety of conditions, will grow in low light, is hardy, and it just looks beautiful. In the foreground, I added a slightly grainy sand, which helps to brighten the display and looks like a natural stream substrate. I then added a handful of small and medium-sized gravel, which will blend into the substrate once the water is added. The idea was to suggest a build-up of substrate around this sunken branch where plants have then managed to establish themselves. I added a 50-50 mix of dechlorinated tap water and room temperature pre-stored rainwater. A plastic bag was used to diffuse the water and prevent it stirring up the substrate too much. I then added an appropriate dose of JBL Tropol, which is a blackwater extract. There are many varieties on the market, and you could also make your own by boiling up leaves. Just make sure they are fish safe. Also, remember that once you have fishes or shrimps in the tank, you should add blackwater extract in small doses over time, so that you don't cause a sudden pH swing, which can be fatal to livestock. The Microdevario are found in a variety of habitats, from almost karstic streams to blackwater pools. but I settled on a pH of about 6.5 and hardness of around 10 degrees. The temperature was set at 23 degrees Celsius. I prefer to run my tanks cooler, as I find that for many species of both plants and fishes, this seems to keep them healthier, while also reducing my energy costs, which is a great bonus. The blackwater extract combined with the light screen and gradient foil creates a really pleasing mellow colour, and the light substrate stops it from being too gloomy. A single piece of wood adds structure and a sense of flow from right to left, which moves in tandem with the plants waving in the current. So there you have it, my little stream habitat display for Microdevario kubotai, using very simple components and something that anyone can have a go at and fit into almost any space. As I said, I've used some high-end equipment here, but you could do this on a smaller budget with an internal filter, a standard 60cm tank kit, with just sand and no CO2, keep it really simple. This display could also be used as a platform for a variety of other small fishes from the region, various small Rasboras, Microdevario, or you could scale it up to create a home for larger loaches and chunky Rasboras such as the scissortail Rasbora. You could also add other Cryptocoryne species found in the region, which includes some really beautiful examples. However, even with just the Cryptocoryne crispatula and the Microdevario kubotai, I found this tank to be really engaging, and I hope you like it too.